What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I wanted to highlight 4 dope projects that I feel kind of fell under the radar with all the big releases that have dropped within the past month or so. These are all shorter projects at under 35 minutes that I've been rocking with heavy, but I didn't get a chance to do a formal review yet. So getting right into it, the first one is Slim Thug's BIGslim album. Obviously, Slim Thug's a prolific H-Town legend coming out of Swishahouse. This contains 11 tracks and lasts approximately 31 minutes. The only feature is LES. Now on this project, Slim Thug is coming through with some hustle and motivate bars over soulful and bass heavy production. There are several very recognizable old school soul samples that are used, but he flips them in a way that is true to the H-Town aesthetic, as this is slab music that we're getting. Some highlights include BIGslim, which is the intro track that is set to celebratory horns. It's a real banger. Haters At is easily the hardest song. It's a slab anthem with a Trade of Truth vocal sample, a smooth sax, and hi-hats. All together, it's a real trunk rattler for when you are coming down on the boulevard. I do have this as one of my favorite songs at the moment in general. BHO Sessions with LES is a dope one too. Here he flips the same sample that UGK used for their classic It's Supposed to Bubble. But to be honest, I found myself wanting to hear Bun and Pimp C's infectious hook. It's Dom Perignon, it's supposed to bubble. Just be like that sometime. But this version was still cool. And my other favorite is Made It, which is a perseverance anthem about making it out of the hood. And this one reworks the classic Mind Playing Tricks on Me sample, which you can't go wrong with. I mean, that's a 5 mic instrumental to sample. Overall, I'd say BIGslim is on par with his 2020 project Thug Life, which was a highly slept on album as well. So yeah, if you are into smooth, motivational boss talk over soul beats that slap, then you don't want to sleep on this one. The second project is Eddie Kaine's Wonderful World of Kaino. Now, Eddie Kaine is a raw and confident Brooklyn MC who has been dropping music since about 2018, although my introduction to Eddie Kaine came rather late by way of his A Tree Grows in Brooklyn album last year that was produced entirely by Big Ghost, which ended up making my top 30 albums of 2021. Now, I don't think that Wonderful World of Kaino has production that's quite as strong as the Big Ghost album, but there are some soulful backdrops that do not disappoint. Like on Ghetto Stars, where he raps over the same sample Scarface used for his classic single Never. It's a banger early on the project. Also, the track Doo Wop featuring Pro Dillinger utilizes a cool stylistic sample, and it was dope to hear their grimy talk over this vintage production. The track Imperial has a hazy, psychedelic soul loop that almost reminds me of something Nicholas Craven would give to Ransom. The track Triple Threat featuring Rim was a standout. Now, Rim is a Brooklyn artist who has worked with Eddie Kaine before. He's got an ill, grimy voice and a good flow. I just wish the two of them would do a collaboration project since they have strong chemistry on records. There's also the menacing track Murder featuring Big Gorilla Nems, who's been really doing his thing with all the buzz surrounding his Bang Bong single and all the, the fucking vibes talk. So my only issue with this project was that a couple of the drumless loops didn't really do much for me, but Eddie Kaine seems to be sharpening his pen game with each release and continuing to give us that raw, authentic street music with that distinct Brooklyn flavor. Yes, this guy is about as Brooklyn as Skazoo. The third project is Bethlehem by Elcamino and Chase Fetti. It's a short EP with just 7 tracks, lasting only 19 minutes. Elcamino and Chase Fetti are 2 upstate New York rappers with an impressive grind. Elcamino is the hustler with the grimy New York voice and catchy flow, whereas Chase Fetti has the bars, the braggadocio, and a voice that reminds me a bit of J.R. Writer. Even though Chase Fetti is the better lyricist of the two, Elcamino is skilled at painting a picture of the hustler lifestyle. Now, as far as the production was concerned, I'm not exactly sure who provided the beats, but they are all soul-centered, hazy, dreamy, drumless, giving off that 1970s Heron era flavor. Even though the drum presence is minimal, they both bring the right amount of energy to their flows to keep things interesting enough sonically. Some highlights include Josh Allen, which contains easily the dopest soul sample on the project. Mulsanne Music is another good one with plenty of slick talk and quote-worthy lines, mainly from Chase Fetti. Then there is the spiritual track Black Bar Mitzvah and Cooking for Me, which is the epitome of smooth riding music, and the sample gives off strong Marvin Gaye vibes from like the late 70s, early 80s. So yeah, if you like gritty New York style lyricism backed by psychedelic soulful instrumentation, then you should enjoy this Bethlehem EP. It's a smooth listen that you could let it ride for the full 20 minutes without any skips. Then the last project is the Smoke DZA and Nimlo Driplimatic Immunity, produced entirely by 183rd Street. It's an 8-track EP lasting approximately 23 minutes. The title Driplimatic Immunity is an obvious nod to Dipset, which makes sense as both DZA and Nimlo are two fly, cocky Harlem rappers who have collaborated over the years. They are also two of the biggest low heads coming out of NYC. Now, 183rd is a Bronx producer who has worked alongside the two throughout the years. He's a slept-on beatmaker who I would say is comparable to V Dawn and perhaps Spanish Ran in terms of the gritty and cinematic production flavor that he brings to the table. I really dig his producer tag as well. It just has a chilling and luxurious feel at the same time. So just like with the Chase Fetti and Elcamino project, the two complement each other's styles quite well. Nimlo is lyrically the star between the two. He has a lot of witty and boastful bars that are delivered with that smooth Harlem flow, reminiscent to Dipset. While Smoke DZA is a strong MC with a consistent catalog, I feel it was Nimlo who had the most impressive lines throughout this project, and his bars were the most rewind worthy in my opinion. Some standouts include Same Game Parlay, which has a rich and classy soul instrumental, while Ticket Prices contains some Just Blaze inspired production, which is kind of fitting for the era that they are paying homage to. Ot Pack featuring Rome Streets is a real highlight and one of my favorite tracks of the year so far. I just love the horns, and Rome Streets came through with the ill verse. Limbs has a dark and gutter keyboard beat with a Jamaican hook, whereas Coach K, the Smoke DZA solo, has another attractive horn-laced beat. Main event is the Nimlo solo, where we get to hear more of his sharp wordplay and clever braggadocio, and the closing track, Godfather, has an exquisite mafioso-style beat. At the end of the day, Driplimatic Immunity is one of my favorite EPs to have dropped so far this year, as I really feel this represents top-notch New York City hip hop. So these were some releases that I found myself going back to fairly often while driving to work over the past month or so. But let me know in the comment section what you thought of these projects and if there are any other dope slept on ones that you recommend. But yeah, it's your boy Mixtape Moth, and I'm signing out. But be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. One.